Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to 202. It's a great day to be a lion. All right, class, here is a brief, should be around the neighborhood of 7 or 8 minutes, introduction on outlining a textbook or any chapter, any book really. We're going to be doing outlining in this class for a couple of different reasons. One, simply because it's a great way to lay the foundation for what we're going to be doing in class. Another reason is that it prepares us to more fully participate in class once we get into class. And the third reason is that it allows us to see the arguments and the structure and the information that the author is presenting the information. So let's get going. If you already know how to outline, then you feel free to skip over this and not watch it. But if you want a refresher, or maybe you've never learned how to outline before, then please watch this. Alright, so I have the screen already set up. My document is set up. I'm using Microsoft Word. We're going to use the MLA format, which is your name, the teacher's name, the class you're in, and then the date. My hope is to make future screencasts that will teach you how to do little things, little short things in Microsoft Word that will help expedite your writing process. The title, what I suggest making for the title is Chapter 1 and the title, so Chapter 2 and then the title when you get to Chapter 2, and then making note of the page numbers. So we're doing outline pages 2 through 13. Okay, the next reading assignment will be 13 through whatever page. So put the center, justify your information there. And then we're going to move down to the actual outline itself. Now, fortunately, we don't have to remember exactly what I's and what A's and what 1's, 2's, numbers we have to do, because Microsoft Word has a little template pre-programmed into its software. And I'm using Mac for Word, Word for Mac I should say. If you're using Windows, it's very, very similar. It's almost identical. I do not have the 2013 that is either just came out or will be coming out soon. I can't remember which. But if you move your mouse to the top, you can kind of see three little tabs here, buttons, and you can choose between which ones. And this is a paragraph setup. I do not recommend a bulleted list for outlining. You can use a numbered list, or you can use a multi-leveled list. Now, normally I would just say click on it, but if you click on the upside down arrow, you'll get a selection of, well, which one do I want to use? I suggest just using the current list, the easiest one. It's the most common. The two most common ones either start with a number 1 or the Roman numeral 1, which is a capital I. So first, you want to get that set up. Then you want to go through the text that you're reading, the chapter. It's a little pre-reading exercise, and get the headings. So there is no heading for the first one. So we're going to write down introduction. And then under part 1, it would be the Jews. And then after that would be the life of Christ. And every time you hit enter, because we have selected Microsoft to do the outlining process for us, or I should say the template, every time you hit enter, it's going to give you another new section heading. And I'll show you when we get to the next section on the church how we go from there. Section 4 is Pentecost, and there's also called I do apologize for my typos that I'm making. Pentecost, birth of the church, and then the part 5 will be the church. If we look a little closer under part 5, on page 13, you will notice that there's subsections or subheadings. There's 4 of them. And to get, you can either promote or demote in an outline format, and there's 2 ways to do that. So you want to make note of these subsections, so you can either hit tab, which brings it over and makes a lowercase a, or right up here by your in the paragraph, you can either decrease indent or increase indent. I think hitting tab is a bit quicker, but this is one way to do it if you have to. So just for an example, if you look at the little A and you hit decrease indent, it goes back to 6. If you increase the indent, it goes back to A, and then you can type down the church is 1. The church is holy. Alright, and there we have the setup, the basic format for our chapter, for our reading assignment that we did on page 2 through 13. I'm going to make part 2 of this later on. Misspelled introduction. And in part 2, what we're going to do is fill in the basic sketch that we have right here. So what we've done is we've gone down and we've seen all the section headings, and we're going to take those section headings and then we're going to fill in the information that goes underneath each section. Because as you know, some of the information goes 1 or 2 pages a piece. If you want to look at it as in the sense of an artist, you've sketched the chapter. After you sketch it, we then have to go in and fill in the details. Artists aren't the only ones that do this. You've done this when you're writing papers for your English classes. Believe it or not, football coaches do a very similar thing when they sketch out, make a game plan for the game on the weekends. So keep that in mind. We've just sketched it out. Part 2 will be filling in the gaps and the information. Now, if you're looking through the text as we went along, some pages have pictures on them. Others have, they used to be referred to as sidebars, but now they take up whole pages. So I guess they refer to them as page bars. On page 7 is one titled The Four Gospels. If you notice, that's not in our outline. I do expect you to read that. I will probably mention it or talk about it a little bit in class. We might do something with it in class. But I mainly want you to stick with the text on the white pages. Don't worry about the text that's going to be on the pages that are kind of this grayish, brownish kind of color. Alright, class, so I will put up part 2 later on. Right now, what I want you to do is get going, fill in the blanks if you need to. If you already know how to do it, good luck. If you have any questions, please come and see me. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have. I prefer you to come ask a question and get it right than to make an assumption and get either partial credit or half credit or maybe even no credit in the long run. Alright, class, this is Mr. Catalanato signing off from room 202. Good morning, good afternoon, and God bless.